Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting Tuesday night here at Versus Games. We're joined here by, of course, David Solomon over here, and Mark's over there somewheres on the
Mark's
side.
over there.
There's his
There he
hand.
is.
We have allowed him another day to live. Yes, it's a brave new world out there, OP10. We're still in the very, very beginnings of that. I hope all of your cards and orders came in, folks, out there. Mine mostly did. Still waiting on one more.
Mine didn't, because this set is not as expected. A lot of people going into this set were like, this set's the one to skip. There's not a lot to invest in this set. Apparently, the ban list changed all of that, because the
Flipped it upside down.
secret rare law is like $30.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I played against a couple yellow kids. That card puts in a lot of work.
Yeah, it was pretty okay. I just had a
just
funsy against Alex where he got one on me. Yeah, it's a pretty cool deck, and I'm sure we'll see that maybe tonight. So here on the left we have Go. Known to use a couple of decks, but over here on the right we have JT returning. So some fellow lads here at Versus Games. What are we doing here?
No.
I'm scared. Is
maybe
this
like the shell shuffle game? Maybe they.
Dude, if there's, I don't know. There's better.
Maybe they're just showing each other that they have five
cards. What are they?
In hand.
Warlocks? Are we doing some spell stuff? some tarot? Some oh man, I see some of that shiny dawn there on the left from Go. Gold dawn.
Yeah, the full gold dawn.
That's right. But here we have our matchup. Of course, I'm sorry, that was like not the focus at all because of witchcraft and wizardry. Usopp versus Blackbeard. I know I missed the previous tournament here. We just had Saturday. Was this a matchup featured that day?
This was not. We only had one Sop on stream, and he was
folks.
only going against Bonnie.
That's crazy.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Sop navigates this. How he navigates this matchup without being able to use his on plays, which I think are pretty important for the Dressrosa characters.
Now, traditionally, Blue has seen some favor against Blackbeard. And if you were just mono black, you didn't have that much success in the Blackbeard. So we'll see what kind of combinations, as you were alluding to, like may not be possible because of Teach's leader skill, of course, and then 10-drop Teach, not only just stunning a character, right, but also preventing the leader skill from maybe going off and drawing a card for the Usopp leader.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's some kind of anti-teach tech just because you get to draw a card if something's KO'd. But it doesn't matter if the 10 drops on the field. So in the early game, it's probably going to be helpful, right? If Teach wants to get rid of any sticky bodies, or if we're just throwing out chump blockers just to essentially draw us cards. But aside from that, like as we get later in the game, once we get to that 10-drop turn, then it's going to be pretty irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, getting the advantage of stunning the leader at the same time as being a big 12K body. Both players, it looks like, starting off to a pretty good start, I imagine. I'm not sure yet, based on experience, if Usopp favors going first or second, but going first, starting off with that new Leo, pretty good. And then over on the Teach, starting with not just Lafitte, but also the stage received a hand from the Lafitte, I believe. So things going pretty well for both players, and we're going to see a 7 swing from the Usopp here.
Yeah, just an easy take for the Blackbeard. Like no reason not to take
looks
it.
Like it was another stage.
We got another stage, which is good because we just have fodder to pitch for the stage exactly. And so getting stage this early is really good for Teach because now we're in the realm of consistency, right? That stage can find us all our other pieces and also fill our trash for Burgess.
Speaking of, there it is. Now, do you favor Teach using the leader skill here, pitching a card to prevent an on-play for Go-Go's would be going to be the 5 Dawn turn? Or would you let it go?
As I'm thinking about it, for 5 drops for Dressrosa, I don't think we're particularly worried.
Right. Like, what did we have? The brand new 4-drop Zoro, I believe. Frankie gets an effect, the blocker, when it's KO'd. So, yeah, maybe you just let it go. Yeah, and it looks like that's what they did. I don't believe we saw a pitch for the leader skill.
No, and we also didn't see an activation of .Q, which I guess we're kind of just waiting on. I kind of would have wanted to KO the Leo because if the .Q gets KO'd in retaliation, at least we have
Very
we get to draw a
disrespectful
card
to the
off
Leo,
of it.
in my opinion. Oh, you're not even worthy of turning sideways.
But at the same time, I can kind of see just leaving the .Q up and telling our opponent to answer it standing. Just because now if we have like a Van Auger, we can get rid of that Cavendish before he gets to do anything.
Speaking of some search, though, ooh, we see a
Teach
Teach, a
searcher for a
Kuzan,
searcher.
and it looks like that might just be a 2K counter in hand, not sure. But yeah, as you said, a Van Auger would, in combination with Docu right now, take out that beautiful Cavendish on the left, flexing that alternate art rarity.
Okay,
Oh, we're getting the
opting to
big
take
ball,
that
right?
aside from getting the Kuzan, which is fair.
Yeah.
We got 3 more Kuzans in the deck somewhere or in
You
life.
want to snap take the Kuzan, I feel. You know, it's just so tempting. But sometimes the trash isn't there. Slash you might need the counter, slash,
Exactly. And it's also just like playing towards the late game, right?
there he is. Van Auger has hit the board, and now I presume we'll see a resting of Van Auger go -3 cost to Cavendish.
Yeah, I think that's what
and
they're
take it out.
discussing here.
Oh,
I
5.
definitely would take it out before I swing just because of the random trigger that might happen, but it doesn't matter. Our opponent didn't take the life
In
anyway.
traditional blue fashion, who knows what they're packing, but yeah, something as small as like I don't know if they play Gravity Blade, right? There you go, bottom deck.
Yeah, Gravity Blade. I think
Punish.
Red Rock also like Gravity Blade or
For sure.
bottom deck's 5, right?
It might be a 4. I always think the trigger is much weaker than the main effect, but it may be. It may be not entirely.
It's either 5 or 4. It's somewhere within that range.
Full show. He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. This is interesting because we're just gonna let that Cavendish draw 2 and trash 1.
No pop, lock, or drop. It would seem.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. We also didn't activate leader ability, which doesn't bode well for us because now we can just drop Rebecca, right? Because we're on 7.
Right, in combination with any other on play sure to happen here. It was a curious tact for sure. We're taking that 6, and there's a 5 coming down, giving up to Lafitte, and simply a Kyros.
Just the Kyros by himself.
Yeah,
asking
for that Van Auger to come back.
Yeah, we can't play Liberation, which I don't know if we'd want to play towards the Liberation anyway. I think we should have just used Van Auger, popped the Cavendish with Dot Q, and then Gogo's turn. This turn would have been much weaker, right?
Exactly. It's curious, and this returning the Van Auger to hand can't feel really good as JT over here, unfortunately.
No, because like we're at the critical turn. Like this is the kind of turns where you want to search with your leader.
You're trying
find
to see
a 10 drop and then just drop double Burgess,
That's right. You're just trying to see the light this turn. Drop the Jesus, all the Jesus, for the world to see, and yeah, and then you just swing 5, right? Because you would have gone 4/4. Did a little search, but
now we're kind of compelled to play some removal, right?
I mean, Liberation feels kind of you're taking out the Cavendish and the Leo of which could be taken out by this Docu if he deems it worthy. But it looks like we're tapping 4 for the finger pistol.
Okay.
All right, so we'll remove it the red, trash 2 cards from the top. Pretty good for a future Burgess, if that's what we have left, right? Because we'll just swing 5 and then pay 4 for the Burgess, and we gotta contest that Kyros. There's a 5.
And we gotta do something, but like 7 is just out of range for what we have, right? Because we don't have, presumably he's not running Laboon anymore. So we don't have the -4.
There's the Jesus.
Jesus Burst is good here.
And now I like to, this is, I would imagine you could do a trash count somehow, but I like to, however you'd like. But I enjoy putting a die and then into 4 dice to keep track of on top of my discard pile so I can, keep track of it and then pump up Jesus accordingly.
They do have the
2, 3, 4.
Oh, he's doing the count now. Okay, so
All
we
right,
have 12
it's 12
exactly.
Perfect. 8K.
And then they have dice out there, and then we also have the metal markers that we use. Very good to have here.
I think word just came in tonight, as you're probably reading in the chat. 14 different leaders on the field out there today.
Yeah, across 30 players. That's a lot. 30 players was the number we had.
It's a brave new world, as I mentioned. It's
at the case
it's the beginning of a new tournament. Players want to come out. We want to play. Come out of Versus.
Someone tried to tell me it was Spice Week when I was out there earlier.
Oh, yeah, man.
Now, granted, those people were playing...
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay would be proud.
They were playing Blackbeard and Usopp. So I don't know if it really is Spice Week. But with 14 leaders, there's got to be some spice out there, right?
Yeah, man. All right, now we're on the 9 Dawn turn here with on play shut off, taking 2, swing 7, maybe a Kyros
Probably
coming
another
down.
Kyros.
Oh, we're taking, yeah, for sure. And then a
And
9 will probably take this as well. Yep.
And we're just finding all bricks.
Oh,
we
1
finally
for that.
find the
Okay.
Coliseum.
Okay.
3.
Oh, we're gonna spend some
2?
money this turn. 1 into 2. What's our 2? Okay.
EDO, and then
EDO blocker. Haven't seen that in a little bit. And a Frankie blocker.
Yeah, just throwing up the wall.
Okay. Okay. And we're still at a little, health, at 3. Put out some more bodies maybe and try, applying some pressure down to the 1 life, but teach there. But presumably we're just going to splash the 10 here shortly. But we're going to do a little search here first. There's a 2K at the top. Probably just going to pick that.
Probably the 2K, yeah, because our hand's looking a little weak on counter.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have like at least one 10 drop, but
1 10 drop, but we have a bunch of events.
Yeah, what is that? Another finger pistol at least, maybe a black hole, but 5 full show.
5 in the lead, which is fair.
Give up the Rebecca Searcher.
Now Gogo's put him down to 5 cards in hand. I would play the 10 Teach first here just to negate the leader ability so he doesn't get to draw a card. And I would also negate that Frankie. But
yeah,
that's probably not going to end up mattering as much. This one-legged toy soldier is probably not going to get a ton of value, truthfully.
And unless we were close trash-wise, pitching for Jesus, trying to make him bigger before your swing.
Yeah.
But we were only just at 12. That might just be the 13th or 14th card.
I think that's the 14th because we trashed one off of stage.
Yeah, still off there.
So we're at 14 here.
Yeah. So we gain Toy Soldier. So we're rocking that. We got some removal potential. But we've leader skills, so no on plays.
Yeah, the Toy Soldier is interesting because maybe Gogo wasn't expecting, because we didn't shut off on plays at the time. So he could have gone into a Rebecca Searcher.
Here we just gave up.
If he wanted to.
Toy Soldier.
Toy Soldier to reduce the cost of Burgess?
Going for a bounce because we can't pop Burgess.
What can we bounce with that's like an activate main? Or I guess an event maybe? Oh, we're just going to Red Rock.
Okay.
The 10 drop. That makes sense.
For sure.
And then we got 2 for
Hound Blaze. Big boy. I like that. Haven't seen that in a while. What was it? The last blue-black leader named Sockadoodle?
Like that's a interesting
holy cats.
Tech choice, yeah.
I like that a lot. So I wonder what you cut for that. Yeah, for those at home, and it's been a long time since we've seen a Hound Blaze on the screen, haven't we? And there it is right there for you to seize. Oh.
Now we're in a really precarious situation. And all because we let that Leo live.
It had to be. It snowballed after that.
Yeah.
And I feel word of mouth early right now in our meta, right? That Usopp doesn't have a great matchup in the Teach, but maybe there were some decisions at some point, and we're at this advantage now. But
yeah, I think if both players were playing perfectly, I think it'd be a little bit of a different scenario. But I think they're just kind of feeling each other out, right? Like JT was trying to push to see what all Gogo could really do.
I think we learned. And we stuck around and
now he knows. I don't know if he can do anything about it now, though, is the issue.
The Hound Plays was a really styling turn. That was awesome.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense now why he played back the one-legged toy soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make sense in the moment, but afterwards.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, if it is the Burgess, which does make sense, especially following up with the Red Rock on the Teach, right? It's like, what could you do? Because popping's not an option. Bounce and bottom.
Bottom deck.
And what a card to do it with. All right, we're gonna get a Kuzan, but I mean, you got to think, is this too late?
I feel like it's a little too late. Like, Van Auger is not going to be enough to reduce the cost.
This late, we're pitching out well, thanks for bringing that guy back.
Okay, I mean, I guess we could minus 4 or
And
minus
black
3
hole?
and black hole. No. He's +1 because of Usopp ability. So we have to
Finger
we have to
pistol, so
finger
it's
pistol
5.
it. But the issue is we still have 2 attackers on Gogo's board.
Okay, now we deem the Leo worthy of going sideways.
But like, do we have enough to get out of a raw 15k swing is the question.
That's the problem. I mean, so you do know how to tap Van Auger and Doc Q sideways.
Yeah,
But
that's
that might be
I
entirely
think
too late.
we're just a little too late. Yeah.
15? Yep.
15.
Go acknowledging. That's pretty much all you can do, man. And there's a 2, a 1, a 1, and a 1.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yep. So go will be our victor here for round number 1.
Go is our winner.
Tournament. Yep. With Usopp. And yeah, I believe we have bounties going on, so that's another exciting component to tonight, right? As we see who comes up maybe on stream with that bounty around their neck.
True. I would love to see a bounty. I know one of the weeks we were on here, we actually ended up with the 2 bounties on stream against each other.
Yeah,
that was really
pretty
exciting
crazy,
match.
wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, seeing one of the bounties, I mean, we're bound to see one, right? Because one is probably going to be one of the undefeateds tonight, more than likely.
That's the push.
So
gotta see who really wants it.
We should see at least one. Hopefully we see more than one.
Yeah.
And hopefully we see some more spice. I don't know how many. We're at 30 players, so we should have 5 rounds.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And as you saw right there just shortly ago, our versus first, Usopp versus Teach matchup.
True.
Crazy deck.
I'm hoping for. What are you hoping for in OP10?
Dude, I've never been someone to stick to a single color. This format feels great, especially with some ban lists, right?
Yeah.
I have Bonnie sleeved up. I've got Shanks sleeved up. Reiju, which is in the room. By the way, those first 2, it's kind of given that those former 2 I mentioned would be in the room. They have been in the past. But Reiju's back in the room, and that makes me excited. That's sleeved up. What else do we got? Teach, of course, and we just saw that. Usopp I want to mess with, so that's something that's new, right, this format. I think those are my main 5 so far. Oh, I was just talking shortly ago, again, with some recent ban lists stuffs. Marco could be pretty good. I was messing earlier, and I know I saw. That's right.
A Marco out there?
There's a Marco out there
too.
I don't know what his list looks like right now, but Marco could be pretty okay because I hated Gecko Moria, and Ice Age just taking out your tall
it gets
boys.
rid of your tall bodies really quickly. I could see the Marco maybe. I'm a big fan of Pork SD Ace. Mono Red Ace, I would love to see make a return. I don't think he really gets anything.
I would love that
super
too.
crazy.
I think he will always live in Shanks' shadow right now.
For sure.
Every format I want to make Ace work.
I'm also really looking forward to seeing how people who liked the Black Yellow Luffy strategy, kind of what they're gonna do now. If they want to stay in the same strategy, if they're looking at the other 2 brothers, they're looking at Blue Yellow Ace and Red Yellow Sabo.
Okay.
And seeing kind of what those leaders now bring to the table. Now the format's like
Red Yellow
wide
Sabo
open.
could probably be a winner from
it's like a rush combo deck that
it already was a thing. People would try it affectionately
it
with their
protects
pet
its
deck.
characters by putting them in life. So there's probably something there.
I wonder. Yeah, there might be something there. Blue Yellow Ace will have its day, man. I picked up 10-drop Newgates, the blue ones the other day. Super cheap right now on the low. You can play them for cheaper later, and it'll be great.
It's technically a floodgate.
It'll get some great support further down the line.
With that starter deck that's coming out.
Promo Sabo, which is a 2K
that's good.
and yellow 2K. Yeah, so good. Ace will have his day. But yeah, those are pretty much my picks right now for 10. I would love to see each of those decks out there in the room, and I think we will. There's been Bello Betties here before, Diz.
Yeah, Bello Betty.
So I'm sure that'll come up eventually as well.
I'm sure Foxy might make a return. I know people were talking about Foxy.
Yeah, I bumped into a couple on Sim.
And Green Yellow Law.
Lim's supposed
also
to be
in
out
the
there,
room.
but I have her sleeved up, but I don't know if she's real. Like, I know she's won out there before, but like, I don't know.
I'll tell you, as a Bonnie player, I despise that matchup. That matchup's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially it depends on if the limb sees everything. Just
Yeah.
because sometimes those bodies are just like really hard to out, and they come at you so fast
Yeah.
that it's just like, okay, here's a Sabo, okay, here's an Enel, okay, here's a Sabo, and now they're drawing like 4 cards on their turn.
True. It seems neat. It's currently in a shell right now. It might turn into Marco because I'm really excited about that. You have 9 things out there that go, bottom deck myself minus 2K, or 3. It's 3K, isn't it?
3K,
3K.
yeah.
You have 9 targets. So like I saw like one list playing like, I don't know, 4 Gordon and 2 Raise Max, just to name, 4 out of the 9 total effects we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you really could just, it's like your Ice Age. You can just go 1 Dawn, minus 3 something, and Newgate's the whole pivot, big piece of your deck there. So 7 gate and kill an 8 cost right there.
Yeah.
Got Divine Departure right now to, that card's great. Yeah.
Are you running Monet?
Monet is, absolutely have to.
Okay.
Ivankov.
Yeah.
To tutor it out, it's just so crazy.
Ivankov.
The blue.
You're right. The one that plays at 2
you
drops.
still play that package. Oddly enough, right now, my 9-drop Sandri is not on the list. I had to make a cut somewhere. I went more of a Whitebeard package. In fairness, there's only 14 to 16 targets, but you have to find Newgate.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolute must.
Yeah, very important.
And that's where I had to go, okay. But 7-drop aces in there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
7-drop ace. Very spicy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're getting in the queue. We're going to hit you with a couple of ads, likely. Is this the one where we're going to hit you with a couple of ads. Be patient. We'll be right back with round 2 versus games. And we're back for another exciting round of the One Piece trading card game here and versus games on this beautiful Tuesday night. We are trucking along. Everyone's excited how to hype round 1. If you guys saw the last match, that was pretty exciting. Bringing an old card back like Hound Blaze. I'm still thinking about that. Ready to roll with round number 2 here in just a few moments. Mark's going to bring up the screen, and I believe we have, one main staple of versus games for sure coming up here, and that'll be exciting. Rocking what you might expect. And then we have another fellow who I can't recall if he's been on the stream often, but you might recognize him.
He's been on the stream before, yeah, and he's yes, the guy who played Vegapunk on stream.
Right. Okay. Well, we still have 2 versus regulars. There he is, Greed. You know him, you love him, and he's on Shanks tonight against Andrew on, that's right, yellow, still a yellow deck, the new OP10 Kid.
Yeah, Mono Yellow Eustace Captain Kid.
That's right. I was just having a funsy game with Alex, this particular matchup exactly, and man, I should not have taken that first 8. I should have given him the 2 2s. That was it. Counter early as Shanks. And then, there's a lot of, there's a lot of triggers, and not too many triggers.
Not too many.
Really
it depends,
because you can
kid. You can pack it full of triggers, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the kid effect, since you're revealing the top card of your life, do you really want to pack it with a bunch of triggers?
Right.
Because you can either use the triggers as deterrent, kind of like, hey, you don't want to swing into me because you don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
Or you can use the triggers as kind of like, oh, now I'm free to swing into you because I know that it's like not a trigger I care about.
Right. And since we are now in OP10, even Greed there, his Shanks list could have changed. There's some out there choosing to do more of a straw hat focus, so maybe not in like an Uta searcher sense, but maybe a Nami searcher sense, or maybe still with Uta, but playing that new 5-drop starter Luffy that rushes. We could see some components there to put some pressure on the yellow kid. But yeah, late game, Kid's going to be putting out the strong A drop. Of course, our leader skill here to give something blocker as well. That could come into play for sure. In our game, for example, against Xander and Alex, he had 3 little chump blockers out there by the end of the game, thanks to the way their abilities come out. 1 blocker on its own, another blocker that requires another supernova in order to gain blocker, and then the leader skill to give something 3 blockers. Yeah, could be pretty annoying for Shanks.
On top of that, one of the more annoying cards in this list in particular, because most people are running the EBO 1 2-drop Shirahoshi, right? But also they're running Nico Robin, the one that burns you a life. But on trigger, Nico Robin plays a 3 or less from your hand, which could be blocker Shirahoshi. So I've had turns or a turn, where I did a double attack with Ace, and the first life was a Shirahoshi, so I was okay with swinging into it. The second life, however, was a Nico Robin. So then immediately that Shirahoshi was able to be played onto the field.
It's crazy.
And now, like, my whole offense is now completely changed because now the variable of that blocker has changed everything.
Other effects, like you've seen like the crazy Nico Robin leader combos with that Basil Hawkins.
Yeah.
That could come into play. We just saw one search to Andrew's hand. And looks like Reed didn't have not Anuta nor a Nami, since we don't know particularly how his list is functioning. No plays on 2 there.
Yeah, and then no plays from Andrew here on 3 either. We're just going to swing 8 to face.
Give him 2. Give him 2/2 case. I know how this pain is. Well, you can shrink and go down to 7. Oh, he took it. Oh.
He takes
all right.
it, no trigger.
All right. Well, remember this moment. This is in our practice game against Xander and Alex. I wish I had countered on this hit. Ooh, a little 5.
5
for a 4 cost. What are we going to see here?
Probably a Lucky Roo, if I had to guess, or the new 2K Tony Chopper blocker.
I like that. In one Straw Hat Shanks list, I have that from the starter deck. I believe the 4-drop Zoro.
4-drop Zoro is also
could be okay.
nice.
Could be okay. Honestly, it was just only a 2 for counter, and it was searchable. It's all right.
He chose to pitch the Gadatsu.
Tony Chopper it is.
Yep, there's Tony Chopper, which
fantastic.
I don't like that we got rid of the Gadatsu. Maybe we have another one in hand, but it would have been great to just pop this Tony Chopper, right?
For sure. And that might be something that Andrew slightly regretting.
Yeah, I think he might be shaking his head like, oh, dang, I shouldn't have.
Early format. I think that was it. I think that was just
yeah.
For those of you that can read lips, that might have been it.
Agreed, giving the smile. He's probably affirming like, yeah, you probably should have gotten rid of that. So it's going to make this turn, we're probably just not going to be able to swing this turn. Like, we're going to try, but then leader ability and then block. Now we do have the Basil, though.
That's right.
Ooh, and showing the 7-drop Law on top life. And that's not a card you want to give this leader. This card will put in so much work.
And, yeah, Brandon taking a good read at that just to make sure what he's got in store for later. Yeah, Tony Chopper was a fantastic card there on 4. Definitely feels regrettable to pitch that Gadatsu. Any 4 that comes down would have been popped,
Yeah.
I do get maybe if it was a Lucky Roo, because then Lucky Roo would punish the Gadatsu back.
For sure. For sure.
I do get that.
But, I guess it may just be, like, maybe he's not used to the format yet. The format did just start.
Yeah. Lists are crazy.
Yeah. Tony Chopper is just a thing you gotta watch out for. Lucky Roo may not even be in the deck anymore.
It's not in mine.
Because of Tony Chopper. I think it's just
definitely not in mine.
Because Lucky Roo's so easy to play around, Like, that's what I think the issue with Lucky Roo is.
Yeah, there's just other cards that fight for that slot, like namely Tony Chopper. Hey, look at that. It's a starter Luffy. Gonna go and swing 6 and surge one of the rested Dawn to the leader.
Yeah.
Leaving 1 up. Potential 7K coming.
What do we do here? Do we give 2Ks or do we just... Okay, we take this life.
Hand doesn't look particularly strong so far on Andrew. And it looks like we're going to stick with a 6. Leaving 1 up. We do have Divine Departure. That could be a defense card. Pretty good. Just a plus 3K.
We also have that Uta Searcher at the front of the hand, so we might just be leaving that just to...
So we are going an Uta Searcher. Yeah, I love Uta Searcher.
Ooh, getting rid of 10 Shanks. That's a good thing to get rid of.
Yeah, and that was the pop, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Pop Shanks.
That's right. Yeah, Pop Shanks would have been really good. But you know what? Uta Searcher, Divine Departure, fantastic card to use against the 8-drop kid. If you can pair it with, in this case, we don't see one. But if you get any minus effect, you put it at that 8K, and then you can pop it.
Yep.
It's for 6 Dawn, but yeah. Like if you had a Yasop on there, 1 Dawn, attack, minus, Divine Departure. Fantastic card.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, because getting rid of that kid is going to be really tricky in this deck in particular because we can always restand it at the end of the turn as long as we have a life to flip face up.
Right. Yeah. Getting some solid removal against those kids.
And now, as Andrew, I think we're going into 7 Dawn, which means we might just be playing that law that Greed gave us last turn.
There it is.
There he is. So now we're going to be able to put a supernova onto the top of our life.
Let's see what
flip
he
it face
chooses.
down.
He's going to choose the Nico Robin.
No, that's Luffy. That's one drop Luffy.
Oh, thought it was an alternate Nico. Okay.
There you go, 6, but it just gets blocked by the Tony Hawk Chopper. Man, that chopper is gonna be so annoying because we didn't save the Gadatsu for it.
It will always be there as a reminder.
But
it may stay there. I mean, I don't know what kind of removal you're going to spend your Dawn on at this stage of kid's game, right?
Yellow doesn't really have a ton of removal after that Gadatsu range, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't even think Althor Trigger does it.
Does it?
Might be. Well, if it's contingent on the total Dawn between both players, then
that's fair.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's making that boy smaller.
There is
Rayleigh. 6, Surge Arrested Dawn, crazy deck.
Yeah, 6/6.
Taking the, it's a 1K Searcher, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 1K Searcher.
Yeah, and here's another 6.
You give him a 2K here. I don't hate giving him a 2K. We could also block with the Law, because the Law is now a 6K body, and then give him 1.
Oh, we're taking.
We're just taking.
Yeah, we're just going to pass. Chopper becomes a 6K. Fantastic body this Chopper is with Shanks, man.
Yeah, with Shanks, it's just like, yeah, any 6K swing you can just easily block out of with no card investment. And this card only cost us 4 Dawn, and it's a 2K, so it's just good in the hand and good on field, and that's such a great rate for
if only we had a 5-drop Gadatsu at any point in the game.
Yeah, the 5-drop Gadatsu would go
that's
crazy.
Always gonna sting. That's always going to sting. All right, let's do a search.
What are you grabbing here? Ooh, is that a 5-drop Nami?
Does he already have a kid in hand? He must, right?
I think so.
Then aren't we in trouble? Even if, I mean, we're going to need to maybe even surge like a couple of chump blockers there, like that Capone. Because now, if Greed just wants to drop like a Rush Shanks, right? I mean, he has a solid board to go in on the offense with, so it doesn't even matter too much. On offense right now,
I mean,
that Law is smaller, isn't it? So
he's not too small. He's a 6K. We're going 7.
Yeah, there's
okay. Another Law.
Reveal the Supernova. It's gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be the Zoro.
Okay.
And Zoro that gains Rush if you have less life than your opponent, but has a trigger to play itself. So I'm guessing we're gonna put the Zoro on top. We're gonna flip it, unflip it. We're gonna give one of our Laws blocker. And then we're just gonna say, hey, if you swing into me, I'm gonna have an extra body next turn.
Starting off with a 7, not a free block, as we mentioned, and then it's interesting again. Like, do you go at life? Would you go at board maybe at that 6 Luffy?
I feel like there's
a block for 1.
We either go at the Luffy or the Chopper.
Greed is still playing Lucky Roo, and here's
I don't know where he's going
a 6.
6 to something. Oh, we do have the 8-drop kid in hand. So we elected to,
2K.
Instead of having the Greed at less life, we elected to give ourselves a life by playing the Law instead.
But I hope those swings were at the Luffy because I don't like giving Greed more cards in this situation. Not before the kid is dropped anyway.
It's interesting to see what Greed's going to do here. I feel like 10 Shanks is probably not the play.
Rush or pop?
Rush. If we have a pop Shanks, I think that's good. We can clear one of the laws and we can apply some pressure into life.
Yeah, I like pop more here.
Rush Shanks, I don't know. It really then comes down to how much counter you have in hand
Yeah.
because we're going to give our opponent a big opportunity to swing back into us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pop Shanks at least helps you control this board some significantly, actually, because that's just a Searcher Luffy there on the far left for Andrew. So Pop Shanks eliminating one of these laws. Yeah, the offense is definitely smaller.
Oh, just swinging a raw 5. Interesting.
What you gonna do?
I feel like we just give him the 1K.
Do it. You won't.
'Cause I feel like he's trying to posture us in a position where maybe we
Looks like
block with the law and
has.
then we, like try to kill the law with maybe a Rayleigh play.
As noted, it looks like only Rush Shanks is Greed's 10 play.
Yeah, so he has Rush Shanks, he has Rayleigh.
Rayleigh's not awful.
It's certainly not, but I feel like Greed's trying to bait the block on the law, but in doing that, now he doesn't have the Rested Dawn for the Luffy. So the Luffy's not really going to be able to get maximum value out of his swing. What is that in Andrew's hand? Is that a Nell? Is that what that card is?
Yeah, it's
two
two 7
Russian
drops.
Nells. We are bricked up. We have so little counter in hand.
The Capone is a 1K, and then it looks like there's a Vanilla Cavendish behind it, maybe?
Maybe. I think that's Alt-Art Kid. I think it's... Oh, well, you've been saying Capone. That's actually Scratchman.
Thank you. Apu.
So Scratchman Apu, 8-cost Kid, double Rush and Nell, and then the last card I think is 10-drop Ace.
Yeah.
Cigarette. Thank you, Joe Not Dead.
Thanks for the follow.
So we got no counter in hand. We're not going to get any counter off life, but we are going to get a body. And do that, and we just drop in a Nell.
There it is. I mean, Zoro's not a blocker.
No, not at all. But it is a body that can swing next turn, but it's looking a little scary out here, a little spooky.
Crazy deck.
I feel like Andrew's running a lot of tech pieces, but maybe those tech pieces are bricks, and that seems to be biting us here.
We're paying the 8 for the Rayleigh after all. We're going to make these laws smaller.
Yeah, make it harder for the laws to swing back into us, which makes a ton of sense.
For sure. And then...
Oh, no, we made one law smaller, and then we made the Zoro smaller and killed the Zoro. It was interesting.
Now we're going to... 7. Oh, yeah. We got to make it as big as we can. And we're going to surge the Dawn onto himself and go 9.
Oh, that's a good point. I forget that Enel has a static that's really flavor locked, saying that he can't use his ability to save himself if a character Luffy's on the field.
That's right.
So as long as, and I think it's maybe both fields, it maybe just be opponent's field.
That's really
if it's both fields, I would not play it in this deck. But if it's
if there's just one period out there on the field.
Yeah, so as long as he has his Searcher Luffy out, he can't use Enel's effect. It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ah. How about that?
I mean, maybe it's the gamble, right? Maybe your opponent doesn't have a Luffy on play, you have a Luffy, and then they play around the idea that the Enel can save itself, but then you're like, oh, LOL, you didn't read. The Enel actually can't save itself. Or maybe that's why they would ignore a swing into it.
It feels really bad considering the Gidatsu blunder earlier as well.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure Andrew thought about this whenever he decided to put the card in his deck.
It's something
I'm just wondering,
had to swallow for sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the end goal is then.
All right, the shrunken, the weakened on fire law has swung and completed. Now we're doing 6. Greed's hand have a 0 cost in there. I think there's a fair amount of counter in there. There's at least there's a 0 cost, a 10 rush Shanks, and
Mizumaru. Thank you for the follow.
Welcome to the channel.
Sanji Chopper is only on an opponent's turn, correct? So it's only a 4K on Greed's turn. Holler TCG. Thank you for the follow.
3 in a row.
Yeah, right.
A triple.
Let's see what
the strong debate here from Greed.
Yeah,
we've entered the turn. Okay, 2 duds and oh my goodness, you take it.
Tomo Uvu TCG. Thank you for the follow.
Speaking of taking, Greed took that life.
Hey, he took the 6, which is interesting. I guess we didn't have a 2K.
I feel that for sure. What is happening?
Hockey Michi, thank you for the follow.
Cats.
Did we get like raided or something? Where's everybody coming from?
Holy catsicles. I'm all right with it.
Hey, we love it though. Keep it coming, guys. Thank you for joining the channel.
Welcome, welcome. We do this consistently as much as we can, of course, on Tuesday nights.
Yeah,
so thanks for
every
spending
Tuesday
your time
within
with us.
reason, right?
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for putting us on your screens, putting us in your ears.
Where's the Yamato at? There's a Yamato out there. There's a Yamato at table 1.
There's a Yamato out there.
But he had to play against Abani, which in the past hasn't been a very good matchup for Yamato.
I think I just heard a wild Greg out there.
Yeah, and Greg was the guy playing against the Yamato, so.
Uh-oh.
Oh, falling from France? That's what's up, man.
Oh, bon noir.
See, so you should know, Og. You should know exactly what's happening out there. But hopefully, I'm rooting for the Yamato player, and hopefully we can get a Yamato game for stream.
Ooh, there's that X-Drake on the top there.
So Nell's blocker doesn't have the... And Nell has Rush, but he doesn't have the effect because of the Search of Luffy, yeah.
And the Rush Luffy across the
yeah, because both Luffys exist.
There's Luffys out here on both sides, man. That's crazy.
But who knows? I'm gonna say it's for the bluff that he's betting that his opponent will ignore the Enel because they think that they can't swing into it.
Now here we have at least 3 blockers, I believe, on Kid's field.
2. We have the
leader?
Kid, because none of them are blockers naturally. Except for the Scratch Man, who becomes a blocker because there's another Supernova out.
Yeah.
So we have the Kid, who we made a blocker, and then we have the Scratch Man, who's a blocker.
10-4.
We have a 2K in life. I think Greed can do Dawn Map to get there, though, because we don't have a lot of counter in hand.
Gonna quickly give up the Scratchman to that 8.
It's very interesting, though. If Greed does, like, miss here, right? If he misses by 1 or 2 Dawn.
It is kind of scary. Potentially.
Like if he misses by 1 or 2 Dawn, right, then he has this rough board to contend with, and then he only has 1 life. But I do think he can get there.
It seems it should be possible based on this board here of Greed's. We're mathing.
6.
Oh, we're really saying there's no counter in that hand.
Yeah, this is the 2K check.
Because there's 4 in hand?
Yes, 4 or 5 in hand.
Only asking for 1 2K though, or 2 1s. That's.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
This is definitely a 2K check. Look at that glare.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing.
The Greed Bear stare.
Look at him, dude. He's like running every calculation through his head.
Every equation.
Yep.
Taking it.
Yep. And now he took it.
There's a 2K in hand now.
Now there's a 2K, but now that tells him that he didn't have the 2K to begin with.
Yeah.
I think we're going in now.
Or this is the biggest bait in the world. Greed is asking himself.
It could be. Greed is a big thinker. Loves to be in the tank, hates to misplay. So I don't blame him for going a little bit slow here.
Oh, another uncommitted 8.
8? That's fine. We're chilling on 8.
Dude. Block.
Block. Not even picking up the hand.
Confident.
What does a seasoned player like Greed think about this? Now the question is, he could still get messed up by a trigger, right?
Possibly. We're putting out Lucky Roo. Going a little defensive. This turn was more about just getting cards out of hand, potentially. And let's go.
Probably going 7, I would guess. Yeah,
7.
7. This also opens us up to potentially swinging with Tony Chopper for a game, right?
Which Dawn are we left with here? 5?
5 Dawn. If we're Andrew, I think we have to get out of this.
Oh, we're going down to 0 life as Andrew.
No, Andrew's calling his bluff. He's like, you wouldn't go for a 9 swing. You madman. You wouldn't do it.
We are out of blockers, right? Yes, we are. So, if only, Chopper can't be that broken to be a 6 on your turn.
Yeah,
that would make this the non-decision point, I feel. But yeah, we're asking for a 9 here if Greed goes all in with it. And he has a blocker, a life.
He has a blocker and a life, but his opponent has
the board to beat
3 big bodies, right?
Each of those laws being a 9?
Each of those laws being a 9 and Kid himself also being a 9.
That's nuts.
So you have 3 9s.
Yeah, the board is there.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting out of this next turn as Greed if you go for the kill and miss. This is really interesting because totally against the canon. Eustace Captain Kidd would never make Shanks sweat like this. He would never put Shanks in a situation where he's thinking this hard.
I have been lightly spoiled of that. Yes, I'm aware of the books. I think we're doing it. 9. And we know he has a 2K in hand. Is that 2-2-1?
2-2-1.
Dang. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yep, called it and.
Or sorry, no, that's 2-1-1.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
is
it's
it really?
2-1-1.
What's behind the Shirahoshi?
The Shirahoshi behind the Shirahoshi is a 1-cost searcher.
So 2-1-1. Greed got it.
Yep, Greed
That's
got
9
it.
Exactly. Crazy.
Like I said, Andrew. I guess Andrew was gambling on if he gets 1 more 1K.
Yeah.
No, yeah. If he gets 1 more 1K out of life, he's fine.
It was a dud. It was another law.
Mm-hmm. So
dang. The way he put it down, I was like, oh, he had 2-2-1. Yeah.
But dang.
And as you could see there, I mean, I wonder if Greed really needed to put down that blocker then if he was intending for a kill. But I guess he only saw that.
Well, because he
spent the 4 Dawn.
He needed some way to spend Dawn in order to get the rest of Dawn off of Luffy to make Luffy maximum value.
Mm-hmm.
So putting down the Lucky Root made sense because you're setting up like 2 timelines.
Mm-hmm.
One where you could hang back and go defensive if he blocks out of the Luffy swing, and then one where you still have that 5 Dawn, you go for the 9 with Chopper. But it was a risk on both players' pages, right? Because Andrew risked it by trying to get a 1K out of life, and then Greed risked it by saying you don't have enough to get out of this 9.
Out of a hand, if there were 3 duds, and I believe 3 they were the ones with counter, right? So
yeah. So
it's the risk you take. Yeah.
Especially when we know we gave him the 2K, right?
Yeah.
Like that, I think that was the biggest thing. I think Andrew should have definitely just countered out of that, not played the gambling game, like the mind game stuff, and then just tried to go for an honest kill on the next turn.
Out of 6 cards, we know one of them is that 2K, and we just need a 2-2-1 to get out of a 9. So that's the risk you take. Hey, that was an exciting game number 2, round number 2 here at Versus. We're going to cut to some ads here, but we'll be right back for more games. All right, folks. I don't think you're ready.
You're definitely not ready.
I think they're ready.
The stars have aligned, and we've gotten the spiciest decks in the room.
I didn't see this, in the stars at all. But Mark's setting it all up right now. We have a fellow lad of the versus games returning with it's another format, but it's the same deck.
Yep.
He'll never put it down. It's Connor S himself on Yamato, and over here we have help me out here, guy.
Gale?
Is it Gale?
Gale.
Oh, sick.
Gale.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes the letters are hard. And on Marco, I called it. I saw him earlier with it, and I was like, I'm excited for you, dude. But right now, I'm really scared.
It's definitely going to be a matchup I don't think I've ever witnessed. Yamato's always been that rogue deck that has a few dedicated pilots.
Dude, Marco needs to hit those chump blockers stat.
ASAP.
This game could be done in 2 minutes. I'm not kidding. I'm scared. This Marco on the right, I was talking about it, man. I think it's in a good spot. It could very well be. I feel like you can punish a lot of aggro surprisingly by just popping stuff. I have a 5-drop Marco in my build, for example, and you can just on 6 just pop anything that's small aggro typically. And then over there on the Yamato, who knows what kind of spice Connor's bringing to the table. I can also believe a world where Connor just doesn't play anything OP10, but maybe, we're wrong. We're bound to find out.
No, he's definitely playing OP10 stuff. I was talking to Connor a bit.
Yeah.
During the case tournament, he was trying this fisherman pirate build.
Crazy.
And I was like, this is cool. He had tiger, the red guy. He had a lot of cool stuff in there.
I'm not very hip to the fishman, so there's a lot of cards I don't know. I know Wahodi Jones. But welcome if you're just joining along.
Tiger,
this is going to be a crazy, and it looks like, we have, I don't know, as Marco, you want to take second no matter what. I don't know if in this particular case he would have taken first.
That's a jet pistol?
Is that a jet pistol?
Ooh.
That's not in the stars for me.
Okay, well, it's at the bottom of the deck, so.
I wouldn't have seen that coming.
So long, jet
here
pistol.
It is. Is this a snap take 2?
It's rough.
Okay,
no,
okay,
just getting out of it.
Yep. All right, good. All right, let's keep doing that as long as we can.
Which is fair. We might be running a bunch of blue stuff that requires us to have a lower hand size.
Oh, we're going. I think maybe
so
6 or 7 here. I did see the 2-drop blocker in hand already. We're running Red Rock in there.
Red Rock.
All right,
we're running
dude.
Duval, I think's in hand. And
yeah,
2
Duval is what we
Beckmans.
want. We want to see as many Duval in this particular matchup as we can. Oh man.
I really think we should have played the Duval first, maybe to kind of. Draw what we want.
It's a scary thought because the next worst fear is Onami trigger pop. This matchup sucks, dude. All right.
You're checking our top 3. What do we got?
Oh, the Rush Ace.
Ace, another Duval, and a Rad Beam.
I like Rush Ace, but I like 5-drop Marco more.
Yeah, I'm not super in love with these top 3. But I guess if we do want to put them on there, it's going to be that way, right? Delay the Rad Beam.
For sure.
Though, if we take this next, whatever swing.
I wonder what life will have for us because here's a 6. We are going to take.
Going to take.
All right. Well, leader skill is activated.
Ooh, Hawkins.
There's some OP10 spice. That's annoying.
That's really good into Marco. Just because, you sure do have bounce effects, right? But I think most of your kill things are KO. Yeah.
Most of mine are KO. And so I was toying around at first with 4 Divine Departure, and I'm like, Jesus Burgess is a problem. So let's split that slot with some Gravity Blade. So that's a thought right now, but you're right. Most of them in my list particularly are geared towards on KO. So Basil Hawkins, pretty annoying.
Pretty annoying for sure. What are we gonna do for 5 here? Yep, we're gonna play Rush Ace and we're gonna rush in.
Yep.
Seeing if you have another 2K.
It's been a while since we saw Rush Ace actually getting to rush, right? It's usually in decks in the past that were non-Whitebeard pirate.
It's usually just, hey man, I'm here.
Here's a 5 that won't die.
Yes. Originally counter tech for Blackbeard, right? Because they wouldn't be able to kill it unless they spent some sort of reduction and then a liberation on it.
That's right.
And Connor just giving up 2 cards out of hand. Interesting.
Maybe that's part of this take of his, or there's a method behind giving up the 2 ones.
Yeah, he's probably just learned, we can't really go down on life super quickly as Yamato because it is kind of a glass cannon deck. So maybe we're just getting out of whatever swings we can get out of. Because it'd be a lot harder, once red gets into its bigger bodies, the 7-drop Newgates, the
That's ideally what we're trying to get to.
Oh.
Oh. For the
We're
blocker?
playing the Nami. Probably just going to kill the Duval, maybe?
Yeah. I think
Or we can, like, pop the once per turn on ace and then swing into it. Yeah. That is also fair.
I guess
Did we get to draw a card?
let's let's get a card out of hand. So this has to be swinging into ace.
How many cards does Connor have in hand?
7 into 4.
Yeah, I think Connor was supposed to draw a card off Nami. I think that's what he's figuring out now. Okay.
There it is.
It fixed
Doesn't
itself.
impact too much, but yeah, that could be a useful card for sure. And then yeah, we're not going to save it, so we're going to lose to. I mean, it effectively served as a blocker this turn and got cards out of hand. Ooh.
Wow. Unfortunate.
It's possible.
Wow.
It could happen. We bottom decked with Red Rock, everybody. And Red Rock, to clarify earlier's question, it was weaker than I thought. It's a 4 cost or less on trigger. Okay. Yeah. So would not have taken out Van Augur, but
it wouldn't have taken out Van Augur, or it would have taken
out Burgess.
It would have taken out Burgess, or it would have taken out Doc Q.
Yeah,
which is fair.
For sure. That was very ideal to hit out of life. If you're playing that Red Rock in your list, and it's a pretty good trigger to hit in this particular.
As the yellow deck, you gotta hate when that
particular
happens, right?
deck matchup. Yeah. Wow. I didn't see that coming, as Connor.
And then now we're dropping
the new gate.
New gate.
Yep, there it is. Now we can leader skill, make that Nami smaller, and tap rest the
didn't even need to.
Perfect synergy.
Now, do we get a trigger here?
Well,
ooh,
maybe something that'll pop Duval.
Oh, Satori. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. If we have something like a Straw Sword, we could see a push for game here.
Down to 1 life there is Gale.
Or like anything that can pop this Duval.
What's our hand look like there? 2K Thatch there on the top for Gale. I think I noted silvers earlier, so that might still be in hand.
I think there's a silver, 2K Thatch, a Duval, and two silvers, 2 Ben Beckmans, a Duval, and a 2K Thatch.
Beckman. Yeah. There's a couple of texts in here. As we noted, there was a jet pistol earlier. We see Red Rock being the maybe blue tech of choice. No Divine Departure. That's okay. I mean, maybe your 2 Red Rocks, or probably 2 Red Rocks. Could have been Divine Departures. I don't know. 7 double.
7. We're just testing it out here.
Paid for with a 2 and a 1. Is that 4 cards left in hand?
Just going with the 5s. Oh. Interesting.
What if we're in for some Hody Jones goodness?
Man, I feel like we were doing the Hody Jones. We would have gone for game.
That's dangerous. Yeah, as I see it.
We would have done it a little bit earlier.
It's a matter of, like, I guess, how much Dawn we have left, but that seems a little dangerous. All 8?
Hody Jones. Oh, we are Hody Jones.
Holy cats.
Okay.
Going for the new gate?
I think we have to go for the new gate.
1000%. That's right.
But, like, I don't know, man. We have so few cards in hand. I would not trust this board state here. That Duval, we've heard rumors of 1-drops just going for game. Duval can definitely get there.
Dude, it's crazy that Duval has lasted this long, man. No Onami triggers, no just straight up Nami popping it. Like, no, I'm crazy right now.
I don't think any sane person would attempt to go for a game with the Duval.
He still has that tapped for a reason.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll figure it out. Interesting.
I hope I don't speak too soon here. Are we really just starting with a 6?
It's weird that we're not casting the Rayleigh, right?
He has no better play is the problem as well, though.
Yeah.
Here comes the Rayleigh.
Because I would have liked the Rayleigh to be able to, like, lower something and then swing into it.
So, well, the Hody will get popped because we leader.
Oh, because we leader skill.
So that was
That's
good.
fair.
So we do get to remove a big target, and we weakened another. So, yeah, we went -2 on the Hody to bring it down to a 6 in order to pop further. So that Satori is -2 right now at a 3K.
Yes. But we don't have. Oh, we have the Rad Beam. So you have 4K counter in hand.
Yeah, we do have a Dawn active. That's pretty good right now, especially. So we have the benefit of a small jump blocker, 1 life, and a Rad Beam to get out of. This is a pretty good set.
Yeah, it's scary.
Could Marco take this?
He definitely could. It really depends
What
on.
happened?
It depends on what that last trigger is, or what that last life is
I know, man.
on
I mean,
Connor's
it'd
side.
be crazy if that's 0 cost. I mean, that's unlikely.
Okay, so realistically, can we even play around the rad beam? The rad beam's a +4. We have one in hand, so he can get out of a 10K swing.
Oh,
Give me this
the Zoro event.
Toro +3K.
So it'll bring him back to a 7?
Mm-hmm.
No, he would 6.
Oh, we have the Diaz Drake in hand, so we can. Oh well, no, it won't work because we have to be at less life, or is it less than or equal?
Tapping 3 for it.
I guess it's
Yeah,
less than or equal. They
yeah,
both
yeah. That would make
verified
sense.
the
And
card.
then tap the Duval.
Or we're playing it and then using the 2 cost event to rest the Duval.
Possibly if it is less than.
Okay.
So this should be an 8. I believe the event gives it the +3, right? It started
Yeah,
off
so
as a 3, so it
6,
was a 6 and now an
an
8.
8.
And then we have 5 down left over.
Yeah, we're just
So
getting
8 and
out of
10.
that.
All right, well now lethal's gone. Um I guess we
Yeah,
don't have any defense. I think Marco's taking this.
yeah, I think he just does. Yeah,
I think he just did.
we
There's
had
2
just enough
cards in
counter.
hand for Connor right now. Ah, equal to or less than.
Okay, so
So
that's what
we
it
were good to
was.
go regardless. But that
Hmm.
event, as you said, taps regardless, right?
Yes, but you have to rest one of your own 3 or more.
Oh, so that would have mattered then.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
The
X-Drake had to do
sequence
it.
would have mattered. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh man, Marco's taking this. 2 cards in hand for a 9. It's pretty safe. No 0
Ooh,
cost. Throws the rest on there. It's an Onami and
and
a Hody Jones.
Hody Jones was the last life because we had a kid in hand
Kid.
previously, a 8-drop kid. Yeah.
Crazy spice in that list there for Connor. Unfortunately, this Marco's going to take it. Gale's going to be the winner of round number 3. I didn't see this coming. Deck's crazy.
It was a very back and forth game, right? Very fast paced too, and I just think it was not getting rid of the Duval. I think
Yeah,
hurt us
yeah.
in the long run because we had to play around it,
I mean,
right? Because it was still a blocker at the end of the
Yamato's
day.
been known to take out the small chumps like that, man. I mean, just attacking into an Onami trigger is usually enough to do it. Crazy circumstances, man. I'm telling you, Marco's awesome. And that was a different so yeah, like that's a different take on it versus going the one that we have preliminary draft is like a Whitebeard Pirates
Hmm.
build focusing on 1-drop Ezos to find your new gate. But this is a very fine way to do it too. I mean, you triggered, the Red Rock to get around that Basil Hawkins at a great time.
Yeah, for sure.
Nuts.
Yeah,
Nuts.
it seems like the Marco deck. We obviously didn't see like 9 cost Sanji, but it seems
Right.
like it was kind of closer to what people were already running for Marco.
Mhm.
I wish we could have seen obviously more of the list, like if we saw Divine
Silvers are still
Departure,
good, silvers are still good.
or maybe some like red hair pirates. But yeah, we just kind of saw a few Whitebeard pirates, some old events, and
We saw Ben Beckman
we did
in the
see Bang
list.
Beckman. That's fair.
Which I'm trying to think right now. I don't think is in mine. I mean, it was obviously great enough to beat this Yamato. Crazy, and then obviously Connor being no slouch on his own, playing Yamato for
For
quite
sure.
some time
Yep.
now. Um, Pretty sure. Yeah, wait a minute. We're playing this game for more than a year now.
Yeah, he's definitely been playing Yamato since Yamato's come out, and I don't think he's
Yeah.
played. He had like a little fling with Reiju at one point, but
Right.
it's mainly been the Yamato,
Mostly
the
faith.
Yamato
Mostly
guy.
faithful. We
Yeah.
had a phase. But crazy, and we still have. I mean, we predicted this to be a really quick game as well. It went on a little
Hmm.
bit longer than I thought, and I believe we still have about like I don't know, probably 15 to 16 minutes left in the round for the others. Assuming everybody wants to take that long.
Yeah, it really depends, right? I think the rooms kind of it seems like games have been going to time out there, so there's probably going to be those same people. I want to see Gale again. So hopefully he wins his next round and then we can get him back on stream so we can see another Marco maybe in finals.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just want to see, now that I've seen the deck, right? I want to power test it. I want to see how far it can go
Mm-hmm.
and see what it's gonna what it does against other things, especially other red decks. That's what I'm
Right?
more interested
Because
in.
I don't know about you, but I've been saying every time I get on Sim now, if like 3 out of 5 decks are red decks.
Hmm.
And those are between the Red Rush Sanji, the Zoro, of course, right? Shanks, and the different iterations of each. There's some Gear 5 Red Luffy's out there.
Yeah.
And then Bello Betty. So if you're going into your sim, it's very possible that you're running into red lately.
Yeah, Reds, especially if like that ladder breakdown that people show, I want to say it's like every Thursday for like
Yeah.
the ranked
Yeah,
ladder.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, if you look, I think this most recent one, it was the top one was Zoro, the next one was Shanks, and then it was Bonnie, and then like Red Green Smoker, and then Blackbeard, and then I think there was like two other red decks like underneath that as well. I
Red,
want to
purple,
say
Luffy.
Red Purple Luffy and Bella Betty were also like somewhere within the top 10. So yeah, like your your matches are probably going to be skewed, especially because a lot of people are playing Red Zoro on the ladder. You're
A
going to
lot, yeah.
see a lot of red.
It's interesting when you see breakdowns for bigger tournaments that are post-ban list right now. The Zoros aren't converting like that. If you're just, you don't have time for the video, you just look at that pie chart in the thumbnail and you
Hmm.
see a lot of Shanks, a lot of Bonnie. Those are your like seemingly top two right now.
For
Before
sure.
the ban lists hit, of course, it would have predicted that we would have had a ton of Blue Dofi, a ton
Hmm.
of Marshall D Teach, and then the rest would kind of just fall under there. Pie chart looks completely different than I
Yeah,
thought.
it's very different, and like you said, like there's not a lot of conversions. I want to say I think of it's like
Mhm,
um if you ever played like when you play certain video games and you play them like and they have like their own ranked mode
mhm.
where you kind of just have to win to accumulate ranked. I feel like that's kind of what the ranked on the sim is like, where people are going to play what's faster to get as many games in as possible to accumulate their rank as fast as possible. But then whenever people go into like locals or actual bigger tournaments where there's uh like actual prizing and things on the line, they're going to play decks that are more consistent.
Yeah.
So decks that are a little bit slower pace, but have a better uh, win percentage per se than a deck like Zoro that goes very fast and very hard. But if it doesn't see like a certain amount of pieces, or if it falls into a deck that's super controlling, like you
Mhm.
can just like get blown out and lose.
As I understand, they can obviously get in there and win many games, but there are fights to get there. And if you just in your local scene or you go into your big tournaments and you just run into a bunch of players that are just like, yeah, I know what Zoro does, man. I know how to play against Red, and you just can't get there.
Yeah, for
Therefore,
sure.
like it may be a more popular pick, but it'll maybe struggle to convert just because it's been Zoro. It's been since OP1. We know how to play against it. And then on that note, there might be players that, just test and play Red Zoro just to understand how it's currently fitting in the
Yeah.
format and then know how to beat it and play
Hmm.
something like Bonnie could beat it, or really, or, other decks that may, you now have a better idea because you know how it is on the other end. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
again, it's OP1 Zoro.
Yeah,
It's been there for a while.
exactly. It's been there for a while. The only time it kind of like adapted was a little bit was like the animal package, but even then the animal package, it's still doing Zoro things. It's just it
We're getting
well,
incoming.
well,
It's Wilfredo.
hello, Wilfredo.
Good
What's
day.
up, bro? Just okay. How'd it go? The SOP? Oh hell yeah! So you're getting lucky, is what you're saying. All right. Um. Yeah. Like. Where was I? What was I saying?
Sop.
SOP. The SOP. Dude, no, that wasn't talking about
Oh.
stop. Yeah, I don't know. It's Zoro is a consistent deck, but at the same time, I feel like if somebody knows what you're doing, you're not going to go very far with Zoro, as opposed to something like Shanks or Bonnie that
Mm.
kind of have an ability that warps the gameplay around them.
Yeah.
So it
Make 'em
forces
think.
your exactly, it forces
Make 'em
your opponent to think, and once they start thinking, then you can kind of control the flow of the game, as long as you don't like like low roll on RNG, you brick, you don't see you don't see all your pieces,
Yeah.
right?
You know what they're gonna do. They know what they're gonna do, but that's part of it as well. And if so many people are playing it, it's like you're gonna bound to have some reps against Zoro, so you know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty good deck. So I think we still have some players out there. We're probably at about the 10 to 12 mark.
Yeah, somewhere around there, I imagine.
Yeah. So I think we'll just take a peek out there to see what kind of round we can bring for round number 4. We'll cut to a break for now. We'll catch you in just a second.
See you guys in round 4.
Welcome back, everybody. Here for another exciting round at Versus Games on a Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending your time with us. Here, we're going to jump right in. Here we have Elena there on the left on the Kid. So we see the Kid once again versus Empen on Lim. Our first showing. Maybe period? Again, I don't know if Lim was featured at Versus.
Potentially,
earlier.
Lim's been out for a couple months now because Lim's an OP9 leader, but
right.
Yeah,
it definitely got the life it needed. I'm just saying, like, it may be our versus first matchup as well between these two on the channel.
Yeah, probably, because Lim's one of those leaders where they initially released Lim, and it felt like
I wanted to make it. She was all right.
Half of Lim's support was there, and the other half was in OP10.
Yeah.
And now that we're in OP10, it feels like a much more complete deck. Specifically from OP10, we got this one-drop Lim that says at the end of the turn, restand one of your Odyssey-type characters.
You're right. Speaking of which, Xandarin owes me a Lim. I have to go hit him for that. Yeah. I have heard Shell built, but I don't know, man. The Marco last game made me really excited, much more excited than I was before the tournament began. For those of you just joining, we're on round 4 now. Likely to be round 5 coming up, unless Bandai rule.
Yeah,
I don't know that we're at that kind of.
I don't think Bandai rules in effect because I believe the two players here may be both undefeated.
Okay, so we should have 5.
This is there's 6 pointers.
Mm-hmm.
But the top 2 tables are both 6-pointers. Or sorry, the top 2 tables. We're in round 4.
We're in round 4, yeah.
So the top 2 tables are all 9-pointers. So there was gonna be a true 5th round.
Okay.
Excellent.
But there's 6-pointers. But this is a cool matchup, so we wanted to feature it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep, absolutely. I was saying this is another versus first between Kid and Lim on the channel. So we're at 7, and we're just gonna take that first live. Yep, no trigger.
Yeah, we might as well.
Get some life in that hand. I mean, it could be scary to see maybe some future 9-drop Zoros come down. As Kid likes to rock those 9K bodies late in the game, right? That Zoro could contest.
For sure, and it all depends if the Lim is actually playing it. Lim's a very, very interesting deck, especially with these other Lims, because the whole gimmick around the deck is that your leaders come in, or your characters come in rested.
That's right.
But then you have things like the new 1-drop Lim and these 3-drop Searcher Lims that just restand themselves at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they were never rested to begin with.
Huh.
Now we're playing the new Edward Newgate, who says since we have 2 or more rested characters, he rests something 5 or less, and then he KOs something 3 or less rested. But we're choosing not to KO the Shiroshi, just rest it and then swing into it. Which makes a lot of sense because now, since it's not KO'd by an effect, we won't
you don't gain the life. That's right. So.
Okay, and we're choosing to just 1K.
Counter it. We're gonna give. Are you gonna give up some more cards for it? All right.
No.
Nope. All right. And then there's gonna be a 5 to life. Asking for a counter.
Yeah. Now
we just take this.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, this like.
Ooh, 2K Satori.
The effects resolve in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Lims will, at the end of the turn, all see that there are 3 characters rested, and then, so they'll both get to ready themselves.
That's right, they're in attack mode now. This is truly a Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Yeah, now they can't be swung at, which is really, really annoying for certain decks. For Bonnie, it's really annoying because your carrots lose value for every Lim that hits the board. And then, probably also for Kid, you don't really... Unless you have Gadatsu, you don't really have a lot of removal for these standing characters.
No, I gotta think you gotta rely on those tall 9K stat lines. We are triggering a Nami.
Or well, no, we're
not
showing the
actually.
Nami.
Yeah, we're showing the Nami. That's right.
Just to show that it's in trigger.
We're on offense. And yeah, like relying on kids' top end of 9K stat lines might be your best shot, right? And especially making some of those tall blockers. But as soon as those 9-drop Zoros come down, presumably from Lim's side, that could be a problem.
Yeah, we're activating the Nami. Probably going to KO the Edward Newgate. Don't get the draw, though, because we were at too many cards in hand.
Yeah. And taking
the life. No trigger on that. Giving the 1K. Then we got 9 Big Don. What are we doing here?
Is it time?
No. Not Zoro. We're going to use leader ability.
And
going to play out the Enel, which is a draw 3 trash 2. Card is crazy. And then we do have Dofi blocker in hand, so we could just drop that. As well as the follow-up, and then we'll have...
Is that the green Dofi
Yeah, the
blocker?
green
That's
Odyssey
right.
Dofi that will restand
5-drop
at the end of turn.
Yeah. Is it a 5, 6?
It is a 5-6.
5-6.
5-6.
Yeah. You got it.
And we're ditching Sakazuki and Edward Newgate.
See, when you pitch the deck like this to me, Lim is pretty neat.
Yeah, you're just spitting out so many bodies. Like, look at the amount of pressure we now have on board. And all these characters just getting to restand themselves. And yeah, then the 1-drop Lim being able to restand the Enel. All of our board is restood.
We're in attack mode.
Like
this is crazy.
You have to now swing at the leader. You cannot swing at my board. That's crazy.
What a weird feeling Eustace Kid must feel right now. Like, that's usually a gimmick belonging to his characters and leaders alike, restanding and being annoying. Lim's doing it with every single body that's out there, most of which are her.
Yeah.
Oh, thinking about the 5, locking in with...
Oh, just swinging 8 with the Cavendish.
That tall 6-8 vanilla.
Don't hate this, because we can always restand at the end of turn, right? We're playing... Oh, playing Big
Revealing
Law.
the X-Straight, going there to life. Attaching Rested Dawn. And let's see.
And what are we going to do with the other Dawn? Sinbad. Thank you for the follow.
From the Northeast. The Northeastern Sinbad.
As opposed to Sinbad Northwest.
Or South by Southwest.
Ooh, you're right.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
it is a Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
We've got 1 blocker. We know the first life isn't a trigger. And Kid has 3 cards in hand.
Pretty likely that we'll just take this first life.
Yeah.
And 5 is quick.
Or, well, we blocked the first one, which is interesting.
And giving him a Basil Hawkins second.
Now we're starting to hit him with the 7s.
Oh, needing to take that last one and then swinging with
So
Doflamingo.
6? Oh, we're saving the 9 for audio. Oh, no, we're saving it for 9-cost Shanks.
Yep, to pop the Cavendish.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Yep,
yep.
That's really good because most of our units just restand to be. Oh God,
Doing the quick little limb shuffle.
Oh man.
9-chop Shanks.
This is oppressive. On this particular matchup.
Yes, especially because we gave up the block on the Cavendish. Now, do we have another 7-drop law to maybe heal and sustain? Because if we don't, the next turn's gonna look really dicey.
Yeah, I mean. A 10-drop ace doesn't even feel super good.
No, not at all. Well, a 10-drop ace would be able to swing into the Enel, I guess.
Maybe. You're right. Like, force a decision. We go 5, 9, 10.
And that might be what we're doing, gathering up all 10 Dawn here. Yep, playing 10-drop ace.
It's the boy. It's ace. Gain a life.
Gain rush. Swing into Enel.
I mean, maybe let it go.
If you're pen, do you save this? Okay,
yeah, I was gonna say, maybe you just let it go.
What's the trigger?
Reveal
Beige.
Ouchie poo.
That's not the trigger you wanted to see.
Unfortunately, no. And this deck doesn't really do a lot of rearranging of the life, does it?
No.
It's not what it's not what I've noticed. So,
Like,
all right.
Page and a blocker is pretty good.
So few cards in hand. Any kind of mid swing is likely to be. Oh, we're starting right off
12
with the 12
into ace.
Into ace.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because
On the clap back, right? We just kind of assure ourselves, or you force the law.
Because now we're not afraid of the beige.
Oh, we're just going for a quick 5. Oh, giving up the law blocker there.
Ooh.
Down to 5, 6, 5. Split up into 3. Lethal as possible with so few cards in hand, but you know you're giving him a.
That's a lot of dawn.
Oh, we're going.
We're going for the body.
I really
though.
like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
That's 11.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
making sure that we're swinging at the law.
3, 4, 5 down. Yeah, should have been 11.
And then 5 here. We can counter out of this, yeah, and not
For
feel bad
sure.
about it.
We've definitely put ourselves in an amazing position here as Lim. Because that Dofi is just going to restand.
Yeah, and I think we're going to pay 3 here and play down O and L. I thought we were going to go for the Resonante just to have 2 blockers. Just
Card advantage plus restanding the blocker at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Whole board, you just have a small Luffy.
I'm telling you, this deck's crazy.
This
very
matchup
scary.
particularly is very scary. Like, that's crazy.
Especially when you have a player like Npen who knew to go for the heads-up play of just swinging at board, right? Seeing the vulnerability in the ace.
I think you could have just ended that with went for the head, just without the rest of it, because I think that's exactly what happened here to Kid is we're decapitated.
Oh, for sure. Now we could do the same thing we did last turn. It's just now since we don't have the law, we don't have a body to use the Kid ability on,
right,
to get blocker.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe what we're wanting to see here is a law.
And baking that the final life is a beige.
Another beige?
Yeah, it has to be.
Or a 0-cost event. I don't know if we're running that card, but that would also be primo for.
I always say this: there's a million and one yellow good cards, and who knows what they're packing. Yep, it looks like we're going for that. We're going to do the ace play again, but like as you said, we don't have the comfort of having that law 9-stat body blocker.
Yeah, I don't really. This is a weird decision. Do you go for life here, or do you go for the Dofi?
Dofi.
Yeah, because I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I think if we want a chance at going for game, we have to do it. We have to preemptively think about getting rid of his blockers.
Chance is one thing, dude. A prayer is another, because we still are on like 3 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
We have the swings.
Oh, we're just giving 4 cards to.
We're ensuring this.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think
you
Mpen has smelt the blood in the water, and
as
Lim is now going
Mpen,
for game.
You could decide to go. I think we're going for lethal, aren't we now?
Yep. Here come the 7s.
We're not even going for the ace anymore.
Oh, and it was a beige.
That's nuts. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. That ace put 2 beiges on the top of life. Okay, and that was just a Cavendish.
Yeah.
And now
lethal is pretty assured here.
Yeah, just like, okay, 9 at lead.
That's it. Can't get out of it. Yep. Mpen Lim will be our victor here. Got him.
Look at this guy. He's so happy.
Yeah.
To be playing his Yu-Gi-Oh deck outside of Yu-Gi-Oh.
I love it for
game
versus
of choice.
first again. Lim and Kid there on the screen.
Yeah, Kid got another chance to rep the deck on stream.
Maybe I'll keep my my Lim shell together.
I'm telling you, I think Lim, when you find the limbs,
regardless,
is so good.
I will find Xander in for that missing limb. I'm pretty sure I still need it.
1-drop Lim it just puts in so much work. Just because even the Odyssey characters that don't restand themselves at the end of the turn, the 1-drop Lim's just like, nope, you're restanding now.
I don't think I had the 9-drop Shanks in my list, but I mean, terribly powerful card, as you know, in Bonnie, right?
Yeah, for sure. Nine drop Shanks
he's
is
most seen in, but yeah, absolutely powerful card. Why not?
Mhm.
We could have also seen 9-drop Zoro, as we made reference to. I don't know if they're still on 10-drop Dofi. It's not in mine either.
Probably not.
Right.
I'd imagine. Yeah, there's a reason why in OP11, 9-drop Shanks is one of the SPs, because they know they printed maybe the best green card they could have
I mean,
ever
it's also
printed.
a Shanks in a top
It's
deck
also,
and a
yeah.
top, like, performing color right now, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, green, very powerful color right now. Again, what the ban list takes, but giveth as well.
Yes, it gave green another light, because I don't think green's really been uh as high in the meta
Every
as
big
it is
tournament always had
now,
that faithful like
since
one that tops in the 64, and then they're like
Mhm.
the god Bonnie. They're like everyone's like, oh man, I didn't have the courage to bring Bonnie out. I'm so glad it was you. Yeah, and they went on, Dofi
Yeah,
or BY in the
Delphi,
past.
BY,
And yeah, it's interesting
other
because it's
black
also
decks.
a really particular style. I love control decks, but it's a very particular style that I don't feel generally I would see it that popular because some people would say it's boring. It's a boring deck to play.
For
And I'm
sure.
like, you don't see it like I do. It's very exciting.
No,
Uh,
it truly is, and I like the because there's kind of two green, there's like three green decks right now,
mm,
right? And they're not necessarily making like a triangle between them, but they're all excelling at different things that green does well.
yeah, so we
Like
got the
yeah,
Bonnie.
Bonnie, that's like the best mono green deck. Like if you want to
For
play
sure.
green, she represents green perfectly.
Brilliant.
You have Lim, who kind of represents this idea of green of restanding your bodies.
Yep.
Right? And getting and making the deck really annoying, because a lot of the ways you remove cards in One Piece is just swinging into them, right? If
Right.
you don't have removal. You can't do that against Lim,
Right.
because everything is stood back up. And then you have red green smoker, which gets to essentially cheat a lot of green's like higher costed bodies, right? Like most people don't play 8-drop Kid on 8 and expect to do anything with it. But red green smoker's like, no, I'll play it on 8. I'll get its effect off, and I'll have a Dawn for it.
Yep, that's right. And just crazy deck.
So I like where green's at now. It definitely feels like
Big part of the
real
color wheel
color.
now.
Yeah.
It's like it's part of the pie chart again. It's in a way bigger representation than it was before. Yeah, just like everything really just gained new life. It's crazy to see Reiju's out there. Crazy to see Yamatos. I mean, Yamatos will always be out there in some capacity.
Oh, for sure. You can't get past the leader that has double attack on face. It's just
and then kind of thorn for Yamato in the past, in my opinion, has been the 5-drop blocker Sabo to provide magical hats. Man, I won't be saying magical hats anymore. But with that particularly has been annoying, right? Because, you trigger, a pop effect from Yamato if there was a Sabo effect active.
Yeah.
No good. And then Sabo on his own is a blocker. That's no good. 6K stat line. That's not great either. So without that particular blocker in the format, I don't know. I mean,
there could be stuff there, and Sabo is also like deceptively difficult to rest as well, because he's a 5.
Yeah.
Because he's a 5, usually there's like some things that only rest cards, right? That's their entire things that they rest cards that you have to use, which most people don't, or just things that have like higher investments, right? Like that Zora event that has you have to rest one of your own 3 or more.
Right.
That's the only way you're going to touch a 5 or less. That's the only way you're going to rest the Sabo. Or if you're playing something like off meta, like Straw Sword. But like Straw Sword is a 2-mana thing that only rests something. That's all it ever does.
gets a 5 or less, doesn't it?
Usohachi does get a 5 or less.
Random limb decks, maybe.
They could. I think in Pen's deck, I did see the Usohachi in hand.
Yeah.
Just opted not to use it because Kid makes things that are blockers that are way higher than 5.
Yeah.
Like those guys you're not resting unless you have the Straw Sword. They're staying up. Or I guess if you were to play Hody Jones, but Hody Jones feels really bad in Limb because you're just taking a life, resting 2 things, and then the rush doesn't matter because he comes in rested.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you suffer quite a downside there. I think, though, that was a pretty, not lengthy game. Pretty.
It was like a
mid-length
Yeah.
game. What do you reckon there? We still
Not
have
too
about
short,
like
not too
10
long.
minutes, 12 minutes?
12 minutes left. Yeah,
not too
we got
bad.
a little bit of time, but we're kind of winding down now.
Yeah, players should be finishing up. I think, as Mark pointed out there, it looks like table 1 is currently Blackbeard versus Shanks. Table 2 is Marco versus Shanks. Could have a Marco in the finals. So I was just thinking about that as they sat down, Marco versus Shanks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Don't know about it.
I don't know, but we saw the Marco featuring some Gum Gum Red Rocks. Hopefully he plays at least 2. That could help with some top end.
Yeah, he's running a Red Rock and Jet Pistol. I don't know what the Jet Pistol is nailing, but the Red Rock for sure.
Here's the thing.
I guess
Marco's at 2 life right now, and his opponent's at 0, so it's looking pretty.
it's looking. If
So,
you get a Shanks to
I was
0
saying,
life, that's pretty impressive.
I don't hate the Jet Pistol. As mentioned, we have things like Building Snake now. We have
true.
we have 5 Dawn play for removal. Pretty possible with that synergy of the Jet Pistol. On trigger is great. You know, that's always been a thing for it.
Yeah, because Jet Pistol is an original power, so yeah, you can use like your leader skill and everything to reduce stuff.
Yeah, at the end of the day, your leader skill, what you just said there, just makes Jet Pistol at least viable. You know, it is a thought.
Because Marco's -2, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we have someone in the perfect pitch right there. Building Snake plus the leader skill kills a 10 cost teach.
Teach, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
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 Yeah, pretty good.
Interesting.
Pretty,
Maybe I might have to take apart that
pretty good.
that mono red ace and turn it into a
Wait, that
red
makes
blue
it a
Marco
7.
deck.
That makes it a 7K? Did we math wrongs? -3
Is
puts
Marco
it at 9,
is Marco
-2 to a 7. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
because
he's 12. He's not
wrong.
10.
Okay, so we need to have Monet out there because we already do.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
What
if
are
you
they
have
gonna-
Monet,
yeah.
you're big gaming.
we-
like Monet is crazy in
Yeah,
Marco.
we already have Monet out there, man. You forgot about Monet. You forgot about the girl.
Monet plus leader skill, that's just -4 to anything.
Oh yeah, we were
That's
missing.
such a terrifying body. Like you have to remove Monet as soon as she's rested.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, nothing's gonna. What are you doing for the rest of the game? Especially because 7-drop Newgate is an activate main to KO something, meaning you can play him right.
Get the one Dawn on your
get
leader.
the one Dawn on your leader. Use Monet effect. Get 2 more Dawn on your leader. Leader skill. Make something -4. You can kill a 9K.
I'm gonna need you to stop right there. I'm gonna make a mess.
That's not even speaking of like Gum Gum Molehill.
See,
Is that the name of
I'm
the new
trying to
card?
avoid that because I don't have any copies of that.
I think you might need copies of that
I
card.
know, man. That's the next thing on the list. I'm trying to look for bricks
Mulgun.
of the starter deck because I think the singles are annoyingly like mid-price there. It's to justify
The starter
brick.
deck is not justifying its current asking rate for the entire starter deck.
Yeah.
Until Red Luffy does something more significant. We did see one last weekend at the
It's
case
just
tournament.
those pieces are just in Zoro, really. I mean, in fairness, the 5-drop Luffy is great.
Yeah, for sure.
But honestly, that I looked at the prices on the singles alone, at least on places like TCG Player. The mole is annoyingly pricey. That guy is like, is he a rare?
It's not a rare, but it's a 2 of in the starter deck.
Yeah, it's like $4 a piece.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's 2 of in the starter deck. You know, it's probably the same thing. Like what's the Luffy at? Like $5,
Link me
$6?
to your bricks, people. Like I will buy bricks of the starter deck.
You gotta find the local Walmart dwellers. That are just cracking for alts. But I feel like the alts for the starter decks aren't that good. Like they're good looking, but they're
Most
not
of them
like
aren't.
super valuable. Most of them are vanillas.
Most of them aren't. Yeah.
And then like
you gotta hope that you hit the leader pretty much.
Even if somebody showed me like they played down the alt Zoro, the full art, I probably wouldn't even notice.
I don't notice the Luffy at all.
Yeah, the same with the Luffy. It's very good art, but like I'm not gonna really notice the extra.
You should have tried a little bit. You should have done something.
Something to make it pop a little bit more, I think.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, really cool texturing. See, that's fair, but like texturing's hard for someone to see, like when you have your card sleeved and protected well, right? And you're just like sitting across from them. But
you couldn't draw something else and put it on cardboard, dude?
Yeah, or maybe like the color correction that they do for the other starter decks. I
But,
really hope that going forward, our EX starter decks feel more like the Three
it is
Brothers
our
or the
first
Three
one, isn't it?
Captains
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah, that's right.
rather than like this one. Granted, I like the cards in the starter deck, but having like 5 vanillas just seems kind of pointless.
In the alts, you mean? Or
Well,
just in
just
general?
5 vanillas in general.
Yeah.
Because like the Three Brothers deck, there were no vanillas in that, and then the
No.
Three Captains deck, there were no vanillas in that. Like everything had an effect, and even though we
As
don't
lame as
use
they
all
were,
those cards,
as lame as they were, you're right.
Some of those cards are bad.
I know that
but,
because
like,
I have a ton of them. Just
you know what I mean?
oh,
Still have
stupid
effect.
heat and stupid.
Yeah,
whatever.
Heat and
Jean Bart.
yeah, Sachi and Penguin.
Oh, those are searchable 2Ks today.
I don't care.
I don't have them in mine either. All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll resume back with our final round.
Final round.
See you soon. We're here. We made it. Thank you for joining us and sticking with us for tonight. We are on our round 5. Doesn't always happen, but we hit capacity today, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we made it. It's been an exciting night of games. Some versus first, as we noticed. Brand new world out there of matchups. And here in our finals, we have getting set up here. We've seen him before. We have Greed here on the left again. I don't think he's ever been on the right.
Wait, is this the?
I don't know.
No, he's always been on this side.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
and
always
then
on
we
this
have
side.
Gale back again. So we have Shanks versus Marco.
Yeah.
Marco in the finals. My powers are getting stronger, and there's a wild Xander, and I think he's leaving, packing it in for tonight.
It was not Xandarin's night tonight.
May the force be with him.
But it is Marco's night.
Dude, it's I can't believe
I guess I
called it. I wonder if Greed wants to take second curve away from Marco.
To be honest, I don't even know if Greed Brandon Corpus is a very seasoned player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knows what this deck wants to do, truthfully.
So yeah, in fairness, we see Gale there. We've seen him in the past rock the 5-drop rush ace, right? So will he hit his rush? Will Greed hit the 5-drop Luffy rush?
It doesn't look like either of them hit a rush. But Greed did find Chopper Blocker, which is fine. Actually, no, it's probably bad into Marco, huh? Because your leader ability gets rid of the +2 that it gets.
Right. It just depends on, I guess, what your removal is, because then it's going to be a 4, right? So it has to be something that you could, 4 remove. But yeah, as we're getting word in, fun fact, if you're a follower of Gale, barely had the cards to really put an ideal list together of Marco. So this is essentially him winging it tonight. Big boy.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it is, right? I know me, I'm a big deck procrastinator. I'm just like, yeah, man, 2 hours before locals, I'll put this deck together, and if I don't have the cards, I'll figure it out then, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm really curious to see what curve we're taking here. But it was a fantastic night for Red. As we've seen we've seen Shanks a couple of times, we've seen Marco a couple of times, and I guess we've seen part of blue, Usopp.
Usopp, yeah. I guess no, we saw every color represent tonight, right? Because we even saw purple with Lim. So
yeah, black on Usopp.
Mm-hmm. Yellow with Kid, yeah. It's been a good night for.
How about that?
For showing off the different leaders in the game, I feel like.
Yeah, it is possible.
And Gale has walked away.
A wild Gale.
Gale has left. I don't know where
Gale.
he is. Gale.
Where is Gale?
Gale, come back.
I really thought that was going to be Gale.
I just don't know where he went.
I can't wait for him to pop from under the table.
Can we get a Greed cam while we're waiting on Gale?
Give us the Greed bear stare, dude.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The funny thing is he's never going to see this until we're playing the VOD randomly in the store.
1,000%.
He's just going to look up and
Gale's
see
back.
his face. There he is.
Gale's returned. Daddy wasn't there.
Oh, jeez. Oh, so we are running Sanji.
Sanjiku.
We saw two, and we decided to put one back because
That's
in this
one too
matchup,
many.
you're probably
We
not going to
might be
cast
dead
both
before,
of them.
yeah, before we get the second one off. And there's five
at life.
guys, burgers and fries. Are we taking this first one as Gale?
Ooh.
I feel the hesitation. I mean, at some point a Rush Luffy will come down. Oh, we're taking it.
Oh. Uta.
All right. We're giving up a Duval or something else with the one.
Or...
There's 2-drop puddings up there. Take a wild space bird just flew by. Space duck. Such a majestic creature. Quick leader skill plus 6K. No, it looks like
no, leader skill. Yeah,
leader skill just 6.
What did we give up there? The Duval? That makes sense. Okay.
Taking the first one, I kind of agree. All right.
We're
Leader
telling our
skill.
opponent that you're not going to swing with that Uta again.
Oh yeah, there it is. Duval's going to come down to tutor out that Ivankov.
I
apologize.
Yep.
Yes, of course. That's what I meant because we're going to tutor out the pudding. The pudding's going to bounce herself back to hand.
Yep. Classic plays.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when this Ivankov like shot up a little bit in price?
Dude, I was just telling Tyler Vex in the chat, if he's still out there, that I almost sold these Ivankovs. I had them listed, and I was like, dude, I have a feeling. That was last Friday. Like, yeah, this just past this Friday, and I was like, I should not sell these, right?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Seems like it was a good feeling.
I had a feeling. Force is strong.
Yeah, we're just giving up the 2K that we showed Greed, so not giving him any new like hand information, right?
I don't think we saw Greed rock the Yasop in his previous round, so this is information. He plays the Yasop in addition to the 5-drop Luffy rush. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. With the of course the Uta Searcher, so that package.
Yes. Heavy red pirates package. Greed opting into more of a control deck.
Love it. Tried and true. We also see some like a classic 0-cost event on Greed's end there. Right now we're doing a decision on if we want to bottom. It looks like we are.
Yeah, I think we want to get that out of hand. I think that was a red rock, Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, which isn't going to be super helpful, I think, against Greed's variant of the deck.
Exactly, yeah. We'll get rid of targets like Lucky Roo and Yasop, which we know Greed plays, however.
We do have the jet pistol.
Oh, yeah, we're still holding on to that.
Yeah, we can just kill that Yasop.
For sure. Yeah, that I believe. Yeah, we're going to shrink down -1, counter with a Bet and Beckman. I think here it comes.
Yep.
That's crazy. He's like, we were just talking about this list, Gale and I, and like I said, he was just essentially winging it. Oh, attack for 0, draw a card.
Yeah, just draw.
Oh God! Greed's like, what is this dumb stuff? What are these stupid cards? It's all the blue ones though. It's he had to read the pudding. He read the
because he's like, no one
the blue
plays
cards.
these blue cards, dog.
Do you know who I am?
I, in fact, thought your hand size had to be lower than what Gale's was in order to even draw with Ivankov, but I guess not.
It's your own hand.
Yeah, but I thought it was something like 5 or less.
Yeah. It's not red, green will read.
It is
so
very
we're on
true.
7. We're on 7. Classic Ben Beckman turn, right?
Yeah, but we did pitch the Ben Beckman that we searched. We could always play another one.
5 into 2 or 5 at life?
This is
5
probably
at 4, I'm sorry.
Going into life, if I had to guess. Like you said, we're on 7. I imagine we're just going to play a Beckman and clear that Ivankov if we have one.
Looks like you might. It'd be an Altart. Looks similar to what's underneath.
Oh, true. Well, there's like a darker card in his hand, right? Oh no, there it is, right there on his thumb.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, pitching a Ben Beckman
pitching
of our
own Ben Beckman, which would have been nice if we held it because then we could have retaliated with the Ben Beck. Oh,
9-drop
big
Mihawk
boy
there
Mihawk
on the top. Gale, what are you? What are you
It
doing?
would be really
And
sauce
there's
to
a
play this
dragon
off
there.
with
This list is
Sanji.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh, dragon.
We're doing a little rush guy.
Interesting.
7 at life.
I guess it makes sense. Gil was at 8. I was thinking he's at 9 for some reason.
Oh,
But
yeah, he's
yeah.
on even. Yeah, so we're going to go -1, give him 2K there, and then
Yeah,
a
go 9 at life.
Okay, taking that, yeah, for sure. Leisure skill, draw.
Draw the ace.
Oh,
Yeah.
leaving that up
We're
there.
gonna put the
Okay,
Mihawk on top because we're probably just gonna
9 Sanji.
do our Marco
Yeah.
shuffle to 9 Sanji, the Mihawk off the top again anyway next turn.
In
Because it doesn't really matter
anticipation,
if we draw into it again.
here on 10. Does Greed have either a pop or a Shanks? And
Greed's on 9.
Greed's on that. Yes, of course.
Yeah. So here we would probably want a Rayleigh. Maybe to help clear the Shanks.
Ooh, starting off with a 5 maybe getting rid of that ace counter.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're certainly taking a 7 next.
Yeah, because I think every other counter in our hand is at 2K.
I could also see a turn where he goes right, completes the 5. There it is, countered, goes 7 next, and then, maybe Luffy? Nope,
Yeah,
there it is.
there's the Rayleigh.
I was going to say maybe smaller units, and just use up his Dawn that way, but yeah, let's make that smaller.
-3.
Very good.
So
8 into 6. Asking for a 2 and a 1. Paid 4 with 2 2s.
Makes sense. Just save it.
All right, and now we're going to draw into the Mihawk. We know we put at the top of the life. We have the 9-drop Sanji in hand. It's unfortunately a smaller dragon.
Yeah, I imagine this 9-drop Sanji is just going to, or well, the Mihawk.
We could attack into the Ben Beckman if he chooses to go -2K. So Uncle Ben turns into a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we could go 6/6 into it. But the thing is this is our target for Mihawk. We can't.
Yeah, because Mihawk can't get rid of the Rayleigh, right?
Right. So I like this rather going into life.
I would.
It would be a 6/6, right? So.
Yeah, I would agree.
And this being the first 6.
Like maybe we're just trying to bait cards out of Greed's hand first.
In fairness, it's a blue tech that's about to occur, so we are going to get a 2K.
That's true. Also, if I'm Greed, I'm not expecting 9-cost Mihawk, right?
That's it. That's what I was kind of getting at. It was like, it's a blue tech. He might not see this coming.
Yeah, like, if anything, if I was Greed, I was just expecting, like, oh, he's going to swing into this, and then he's going to red rock the Rayleigh. So I need to save my Beckman while I can.
Yep.
Little does he know, it's the exact opposite. This was all just bait.
Yeah, that was it. That was okay. That's fine.
But, you know, we only really lost...
we have 3 9K bodies on the board versus 1 8.
We didn't lose too much from that on Greed's side, so I don't think it really mattered.
In terms of board presence, it depends. I mean, if there's another Rayleigh play, it's pretty good, right? 7, then you go 7 with lead, 8 with Rayleigh.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to. You're racing life at that point, aren't you? But you are making things smaller for the clapback.
Yeah, the problem is we're just like, if we don't answer this dragon, we're staring at 3 9K bodies, plus whatever Marco has cooking up, right? And Greed knowing red cards, he knows
Sanji
that there's probably a 7-cost Newgate not too far behind.
This deck's crazy.
This deck is too much.
I can't wait to get home. 8. Take. I agree.
Yeah, easy take.
Ooh, that could have been a decision point, but let's keep that.
Yeah, we don't really need that. I don't think we're in any threat of dying.
A dragon of our own.
That's interesting.
That's good. That is an extra 9 that I didn't anticipate. But we did take. So is this another 9 at life or taking?
Yeah, looks like we're
okay.
It looks like we're running the race.
Okay.
It's like 999, putting him on sudden death.
Holy cats.
Which
now
is
I'm scared.
crazy. How
That
much counter does Greed have in hand? Usually Greed's a very he'll play back, he'll play defensive, he won't like
yeah,
push
not a
the
single blocker
aggression.
out there. This is kind of a so we have rad beams though,
You do have rad
right? So
beams.
we could swing strong if we have a Duval or a chump blocker of some kind, but I don't think I see a Duval.
No, it doesn't look like it. We could use leader ability to try to fish for one. But it's really risky. I guess the smart thing to do would be to utilize leader ability, draw your card, see what you're working with, and then maybe minus the Rayleigh, and just kind of set up to maybe we kill it this turn with 7-drop Newgate.
Really
Looks like we're
nervous.
doing.
Ooh, there's a 4-drop pudding in that list.
That's interesting.
Indeed.
Now what do we do? We could fight for a board, but then it becomes a question of can we get out of a 15k swing? Probably because we have the two.
I think you have to go for board. I think you have to.
Yeah.
But I don't love it. I mean, you have to leave some Dawn up for your rad beams. You have to.
Yeah, that's the issue. I don't love going for board here. But Greed does only have 4 cards in hand.
If Gale had 2 or 3 life, I would feel safe not going for board. I mean, at 1, I'm going for board because I'm scared. Now I think you have to. Okay, he'll let that go. No leader skill, it seems. 9 being a taller number to get around.
Yeah, but now we have our 9k bodies.
6 lead.
Interesting, we're just swinging 6 lead. Because
Bait.
that's just going to give Greed
perhaps
more, like, cards to work with if he decides to take this. And there's no reason for him not to take it now because he knows he's not in any threat of dying because that one 9k swing from the Mihawk went into one of his characters.
It's kind of an interesting tact because maybe Gale's thinking, let's see if he'll give me a card for the 6 in fear that I could lethal him, but
yeah, maybe that's a big ask. I don't know.
I know, and I feel now I fear
Raw
that
9
was
is
not
definitely
correct.
not
Yeah,
gonna
that was
work.
not. Yeah. Oh, Buckaroo.
Yeah, because now we're in a situation where we can't really play the 7 Newgate.
Red Rock?
I don't think I saw one.
Rayleigh. No, Newgate.
I don't like the 7 Newgate here.
10?
We just like
give up a 2K easily.
We have to know Greed has like,
and then we leave up
counter
2 for
in
the rad
hand,
beam.
right?
I don't like this.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were gonna go for board,
I think
we should have full
definitely
committed.
Yeah, for sure. Like all of our swings should have went for board.
Now I think it's kind of too easy for Greed to get there. I mean, can he take 19?
Yeah, can we get out of a 19 and then still be able to get out of the 5 afterwards? Well, we have double rad beam in hand. That's +8. So that gets us
13.
to 13.
We're starting with a 9.
Double Otama. Okay, yeah, I think this is wraps. I don't think we can get out of a 15 with just that.
Brings up to a 9. 11, 13. No, all of them need to be. No, he needs 5 cards, and they need to all be 2Ks.
Yeah, the 3 2Ks
that was too
didn't
close.
matter.
That was too close.
Yeah,
it was
11.
1K
It was
off.
actually 15. Yep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was gonna say he needed a 5th card with counter. My goodness, but Marco almost got there.
Marco did almost get there. I think it was just a difference in like, how do I say this? It's a difference in game knowledge, I feel like.
Okay.
Right. Greed's a very seasoned player. He's been playing the game since it came out. He's topped a lot of events.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Experience for sure.
Very experienced. Gale really seems like he knew what his deck was doing, but I don't feel like he fully knew what Greed's deck wanted to do. So that's why he kind of bounced between either going for life or going for board.
Indeed.
And didn't commit to one or the other. And I think that's ultimately what his downfall was.
Indeed. I mean, certainly with that last swing that we saw with the 9-drop Sanji swinging in and then just easily get 9 for 9, right? And then just getting instantly reduced by later skill. Was that the best usage? Again, we were fiddling between, do we go for life or do we go for board? Although board wasn't your favorite tact, I stand by. I think that was all you really could have done, but you kind of went in both lanes but didn't get anywhere.
Exactly. And I think if and who knows, right? We didn't look at like the full scope of Greetan and all the counter. Maybe the math just wouldn't have worked out either way.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have saved the dragon and we'd still be in the same situation. But I feel like in those cases you still have to try rather than setting up the new gate that didn't get any value really because it didn't get to pop anything.
Right. Right there at 0 life, you needed something like a Duval plus those rad beams, and maybe you had a chance, but I mean, it's still Shanks at the end of the day, and what a show that still was. So Brandon's going to take our locals for tonight. I believe Mark has some parting words, but that's all from Solo-Kun tonight.
Yep, that's it.
We'll be taking off for now, but we'll catch you later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And that's going to be another wrap for this one, y'all. As always, thank you so much for watching. You can check out our latest video upload right here. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. And as always, keep on gaming, gamers versus games.